Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are
the Fear Babes.
Good morning! Just kidding. It's actually morning for me, but it's not morning for Mads. So welcome back to Fear Babes Podcast. Good morning or afternoon, whatever time it is that you're listening to this.
Hi.
Hi. That's like me in the fucking vlog that we just released. You're like, good morning, guys. And I was just like, hi.
Which is really weird because I feel like usually it's the opposite. So usually, okay, so you say that you're not a morning person, but you're more of a morning person than you think that you are, because I'm more of like, don't talk to me, don't look at me. I'm going to do what I need to do. I need to have coffee. I need to eat. Don't look at me. Don't fucking look at me.
Let me give you a helpful tip. What is words? Let me give you a helpful tip really quick. Are you ready?
No.
Fake it until you make it.
See, it just doesn't work that way for me. I have tried.
You just gotta figure it out, man.
I have tried. I mean, like, when I get to work in the mornings, like, I drink my coffee, I eat my breakfast, and then I'm like, okay, now I can be a person. But, like, prior to that, it's not happening. It's not happening. That's why it's best that I don't have any social interaction outside of my people before I have to do anything like that. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I feel like my brain is mush.
It's mush, yeah. At my work, it's like, it's funny because I'll walk in like, it's too fucking early for this. And then Robin's like, good morning. And Aubrey's like, good morning. And I'm like, morning.
Aubrey is definitely that kind of person.
Well, it's like their energies like rub off on me. And then I'm like, okay, I guess it's fine.
100%. I think that's what it is, you know, like, I mean, like, for instance, my coworker, she is definitely a morning person. She's a lot older than I am, though. So she's been doing this for like 3 decades, but it's like, girl, what the fuck? Like, she makes me want to be a morning person, though, because her energy is just like so, like, she's singing when I get into work, and I'm just like,
you're like, please stop.
Yeah. Like, my facial expression is just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But then, like, as the morning goes on a little bit, like, her energy rubs off on mine, and I'm like, we're having a great day. So I feel like the more that everybody like tries to channel good energy, the better your surroundings are. Like, it's all about the energies, man. If one person's energy is off, it throws everybody off. So it's like, no, we can't have that. Straighten up, because we can't.
Everybody be fucking happy right now.
Right, fucking now.
It's like you walk in somewhere and everybody's all like pissy, and you're like, you guys better fucking straighten your act up right fucking now.
Exactly. And I be like that too. Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're all gonna be happy together, or else. You know, or else. And you're like, I don't fucking know. I'll figure it out.
We're all gonna be singing Kumbaya by fucking lunchtime, motherfuckers. So get it together.
And then lunchtime comes around and everybody's all fucking frazzled because the day's been like psycho already. And you're just like,
exactly.
Oh, I gotta go eat. Bye.
Nobody talks. Nobody interacts. Everybody's just silent for the whole hour. It's so funny. Anyway, but so welcome back to the pod. It is another day, like Bergie said, and today we have another set of paranormal investigators. Did you hear what I said? A set.
A pair, if you will, a duo.
A duo. Not just one. There's two. Holy fuck.
I think this is the first time, Mads, that we've ever talked to two people at the same time.
It is.
Wild.
It's going to be a little different for us, so I'm
It's gonna be
interested
great.
to see. Yeah, I
I'm
mean, it's
excited.
going to be great. It's going to be great. It's always great, but it's just different. So I'm
Yep.
excited to see how it's going to go. So
Same.
yeah.
Same. Before we dive into that, is there anything else we want to talk about really fast?
I want to talk about how.
Cool. Love it.
Woo!
So and then why?
Because
And then maybe where? Where though?
and
With who?
with and that's it. I mean, that was the story.
That was a great conversation. That was
Yep.
the best conversation we've probably ever had on this podcast.
I know, and that's exactly what the people needed to hear. I know for a fact.
That's exactly what they wanted.
So
So yeah,
have
if you didn't take anything away from that, I hope you figure it out. Well, Mads, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Hope it was valuable.
Rick,
We will never rehash that ever again.
No, that was all. We had to figure it out, and now we're moving on. We're never talking about it ever again.
Great chat.
Love it. Yeah, I guess with that, then go ahead and take it away, Matt.
All right, guys. Today we are joined by Noah and Jake Bruce from Spirit Stalkers. Welcome, guys, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on. We appreciate it a lot. Yep.
Of course. So to start off, can you give us a little background into Spirit Stalkers?
Oh, man. Yeah. So we've always been interested in ghosts and the paranormal, mostly from our parents, because they would bring us to places like Gettysburg for vacation. But over the years, we decided, we were both into, Noah wanted to be a YouTuber. Yep. And I was always into filmmaking. And, my idea of fun was making videos with my friends and doing all that. And so we went on this trip to Savannah in 2021, and we saw this video of like a ghost child running in the cemetery that was captured in I think the 90s. And so we decided to make a video where we went to the exact spot where they were filming, and we tried to debunk or prove whether or not that was a person. So I stood there and Noah went and ran as the ghost child, and we just compared the footage, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is awesome. And so we went back home, and a couple months passed. And then that summer, kind of this time of year, July, August, we decided, we need to make a TikTok, a YouTube channel, and just start making actual ghost hunting videos. And so that's kind of the background. It basically came out of Savannah, Georgia.
Nice. That's cool. Before I ask you my first question, I just wanted to congratulate you guys on getting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, that was just last week that happened, right?
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I was like, sick, look at them go. It's super exciting. So the Savannah, Georgia thing, is that kind of what inspired you to begin investigating, or did you have your own paranormal experiences that started that?
Well, we grew up in a haunted house, so that's another part of it too. So a lot of it, again, it came from our dad. So I'd say the biggest part is probably Gettysburg, because we went there. I think at this point I'm 23, and I think I've been there 25 times or something. I can't even count anymore.
Damn.
So going there so much, going on the ghost tours, learning about the history, that's what really inspired us. And then also the fact that we grew up in a haunted house. So we didn't really know this until we actually started Spirit Stalkers, but Noah and I had the same type of paranormal experiences in our house, and we just never really told each other. But our whole lives, we both kind of knew it was haunted. So that just really, that really helped to inspire us as well, to find answers on what the hell was happening to us when we were kids.
That's kind of interesting that you guys had similar experiences but never talked about it.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until honestly last year, and we around this time, August, we went and filmed an actual episode where we were at our house ghost hunting, and we brought our friend Eric with us. And as we were talking about the stories about what happened to us on the camera, I mentioned something, and then Noah was like, dude, that happened to me as well. And I was like, there's no way. And it was also in the same room, everything. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
That's wild.
So yeah, that's what inspired us.
Nice, nice. Okay, so when you guys are out investigating, what's your favorite tool or investigation method?
So mine personally, I just kind of like to listen with our ears. That's definitely one of my favorite things to do. Is especially when we're live streaming, is just to hold the live stream and explore around the building and just sit in random spots and just try to hear stuff, because that's definitely one of the most compelling things about ghost hunting is hearing audible noises and even like voices sometimes. And that just scares me the most, knowing that there's nobody else in the building, but we're hearing noises that we can't explain. So that's definitely the scariest thing for me.
Yeah, I'd say for me, honestly, I'd probably give the same answer, but I think EVP recorders, I think it's so cool, especially the more we get into it. We've kind of started a collection now of recorders because it's kind of like a little obsession now. But I think when there's no one talking and you capture a voice that is answering a question that you asked and there's literally no one else near you, I think that's one of the coolest things ever.
It is cool. It's like disembodied voices are just like next level in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
So do you, like, I was thinking about this question earlier this morning, so it's not on our Google Docs, mad sorry, but do you guys feel like ghost hunting in a way has desensitized you a little bit, or do you still get just as freaked out as ever before?
I'd say over the past 6 months or so, it's weird because we kind of flipped. I was always, or at least we'd portray ourselves. Well, okay, so let me rephrase. I think Noah would pretend to not be scared, but he's always been scared, honestly. That's just my opinion. But like in the beginning, I was always the one who was like terrified. We both were scared, but I was like really bad. And then now, for whatever reason, I mean, Noah went through a few like kind of dark things on different investigations, and I think it really kind of flipped the script almost. So like now he's the one who's usually, I think, more scared than I am on investigations. And for some reason now, I haven't stopped being scared. I'm just I can cope with it a lot better. Where beforehand, when we started our channel, I think for both of us, our fear of ghosts was almost a phobia. Like we couldn't even walk the 10 steps from our bedroom to the kitchen without like looking behind us or sprinting in there. It was really bad. And that's like as a 20-year-old dude. So it was really bad.
That's kind of interesting though.
Yeah, that's part of why we started the channel that's honestly the main reason, I think, is to get over that fear. Because again, we did grow up on a haunted house and it really caused a phobia in both of us. But yeah, the more we ghost hunt, it's slowly getting better, but it's still...
It really hasn't gotten much better.
Yeah, no, but I can now walk to the kitchen without being afraid, but that's about it.
That's cool. That makes sense though.
Yeah, it does. I was about to say, like, so Bergie had, I'm not going to get too in depth with it, but in her house, when I went to visit her in Wyoming, I had an experience where I was like, I was so scared, and I'm 26, okay, and I felt something in her living room, and I ran to her room in the middle of the night because I was so scared. So, like, I mean, you would think the older you get that it goes away, but I don't think it ever really goes away. Even, I don't know. I mean, we haven't investigated, but that is on our to-do list.
Yeah, you guys should.
Yeah, we want to. It's just, like I said, before we started recording, because we live so far apart, traveling is expensive, so...
Yeah, yes it is. Yes, it is. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it ever gets better. I think you just become better at like dealing with it. Because I'm still terrified. I'm the same amount of scared. It's just I have that like courage now where I've been to some of these places and I know like, okay, I'm not gonna die. So that's at least
worst case scenarios out of the question.
Yeah. You got that one covered now.
That's funny. The thing that was in my house though, and the episode we're releasing tomorrow where we talk to Allie, I actually go into depth on what I experienced. But the funny thing is, for me, it had been around for a while, so like I wasn't afraid of it at all. But I could see how Mads could be like, I feel uncomfy right now.
Yeah, for sure.
It was scary, man. I ran for sure. My little heart was like racing. I know. It was kind of crazy. So what piece of equipment have you found to be the most effective and or your favorite on investigations?
Again, I think probably EVP recorders. I just love them so much. It's, again, like I said earlier, it's kind of an obsession. We have so many now. But I just think, like, again, when you can verify that there's no one moving, no one's talking, and there's for some reason a voice responding to you in, very clear, audible tones. Like you guys said, like disembodied voices, any type of voice where no one's talking in general is just so freaking scary. So I definitely think EVP recorders for us. Plus, you can get like real answers from, the spirits themselves or the ghosts themselves, where in their own voice. Where with other pieces of equipment, you're doing either yes or no. But with an EVP, you can get full on voices. So
Right.
I'd say definitely EVP recorders.
Yeah,
Cool.
for me, definitely the most effective. Recently, we've been doing a lot of ghost hunts with one of our best friends, Eric from Epic Paranormal. And he actually is kind of an inventor with certain pieces of equipment for ghost hunting. And he has his own personal piece of equipment called the Gateway. And it kind of looks like a bomb, but it's like a spirit box. It has like a bunch of amps in it, and like it reverbs, and it replays what it just said, and it's so freaking awesome. And looking back and looking at what we filmed for our most recent video at Post Town, those answers that we got were always spot on, super crystal clear, and again, it's like a spirit box. And I just think that piece of equipment, for some reason, helps spirits talk more than a regular spirit box. And we've just been getting so many clear responses with that. So that's definitely the most effective in my opinion, for sure.
That sounds so cool.
It does.
Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah.
Spirit boxes are just like, I don't know, they fascinate me.
Same. I was just about to say the same thing. I love the spirit box.
Yeah, that was my first piece of equipment. My dad got, I think it was my 16th birthday. I asked my dad for one, and he thought I was crazy. Even though
I was like,
he
all right.
didn't know at all, but I think he was like, so our parents both kind of knew our house was haunted, but they never admitted it. So I think him getting me that was kind of like, okay, if this confirms our house is haunted, like that changes a bunch of stuff. So he was kind of nervous about it, I think. But yeah, spirit boxes have always been, that was my first piece of gear officially.
Did you use it in the house then?
Oh yeah. I used it everywhere. Yeah, because that was right around the time we finally figured out what had happened in the house, and I was like, I really just wanted to like see if I could talk to whoever that was to like, figure out why I was so terrified my entire life.
Nice. Your dad's probably like, please stop.
He's into the whole
Poor guy.
thing. He got us into ghosts, but I think we kind of stopped doing stuff at the house because I think it was getting, for a while there, it was like really ramping up stuff until we filmed our episode last year and we kind of cleansed everything, and honestly everything has stopped since then. So
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So how do you guys differentiate between what is real evidence and what could be alternate evidence?
like debunkable,
Yeah, like maybe you hear noise, but then it turns out it's like a mouse or something.
Yeah, so that's happened to us a couple times, and honestly, it's been where like we'll edit the entire video and upload it, and then afterwards we think about what it could have been, and we're like, oh my god, man! Like, so we went to ISS, and I heard these footsteps coming down the hallway, and they were loud. But later on, we realized there was a mouse in there. So like, I don't know. It comes down to how deep you want to look into it, because honest to God, I think if you look deep enough into any piece of evidence with any piece of gear, even your, something that you heard, I think you can usually get to the bottom of it. But obviously there are those times where you just can't. But it definitely comes down to like, how deep do you want to look into it? But usually for us, like, we get a piece of evidence, we'll, cover our bases. So like if we get an EVP, obviously I'll compare the audio to the camera audio to see if we moved at that time that we captured what we thought was a voice or whatever. Or with a sound, we'll like go towards that direction, see if we can hear it again. Usually if a sound happens like more than 2 or 3 times, it's something natural that just is reoccurring over and over again, like wind hit, a branch hitting the window or something. So it definitely just comes down to how deep you want to look into it. And I think usually things can be explained, honestly.
Nice. You could see that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going off of that, just a little, or maybe not. I don't know. What is the most memorable paranormal experience that you have?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many like really crazy things that have happened to us in the past years. But the most memorable, and I know there's been a lot of things that have happened like crazy wise recently, but when we first started, our first couple of videos, we never really got anything that insane. We got a couple of spirit box stuff. I mean, we were just starting, so we really didn't know what to do like we do now. But we went to this place called the Old Benton Jail in Fowler, Indiana. And, man, we just started. It's probably been a couple of months, at least like 6 months or something since we started. And we went to this county jail, and we only had 2 hours at that place. It was weird hours, but we only had 2 hours. So we kind of had to make a video in 2 hours, which is really difficult to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were sitting inside of a prison cell. And mind you, we were kind of stupid for this, but we wore original jumpsuits that the prisoners wore in jail. And the tour guide was like, yeah, nobody's really done that. And we're like, okay, we're going to try it. And so, yeah, we were in that prison cell. Nothing was really happening much. We had like the EMF going on. And at the time, we were doing a spirit box session. And while we were doing the spirit box session, I asked some question. I forgot what it was. But right after I asked the question, you hear a sound so loud that on the camera, it distorts the mic. Like it sounded like somebody took a hold of a prison cell door and slammed it as hard as they could. And mind you, nobody else was in the building. It was just us two. And that sound was so loud, we screamed like little girls in that video. And it's kind of embarrassing. But it's so funny.
Chills, dude.
But yeah,
gives me chills.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dispute that. That's the scariest ever. Yeah, if you go watch a reaction to that, you'll see why. We were freaking out.
I love that you guys went from like basically almost a phobia to, you know what, we're gonna wear jumpsuits out of jail to see if that'll start anything.
Yeah, I think again over time you do slowly get a little bit better, but we always have done things like we'll do challenges for each other, like
Right.
we'll just come up with crazy things for each other to do, and all that goes to making us even more scared than just being in there ghost hunting. So I think anything that we can do to add to the fear level is just like it's good for the video and it's good to get over the phobia.
Yeah, exactly. I think the challenges are important. Just kind of to keep things fresh, it's not always the same thing every time.
Yeah, and it's like scary for the both of us because we challenge each other because we're brothers, and it's just
Right.
kind of funny to get the reactions and see how scared we get.
That's cool. I dig that. That. I feel like if Mads and I ever do actually investigate, we'll fuck with each other like that too. So
100%.
Do you guys have like a favorite location that you've investigated so far?
Yeah, I think there's so many good ones, but I like really massive locations. Those are definitely my favorite because you just get to explore, and you never really get to all the rooms in the building, if it's that big. So like places like Sweet Springs Sanitarium, Indiana State Sanatorium, all those are like, oh my gosh, they're just crazy. Especially with ISS. I always go back to ISS being my favorite just because all of the things that the patients would have had are still there. And it's so cool to be able to see, the old hospital beds, their old clothes, everything that they would have used on a day-to-day basis is still there because it closed in 2011, which is fairly recently.
Right. Do you think that stuff being there like adds to the factor of the hauntings?
Yeah, definitely. I really do because, a lot of them are personal objects and, we investigate a museum that is in our hometown a lot, and we found that a lot of the spirits there are attached to different objects within the museum. And I think at any of these asylums or wherever you are, if there's original objects there, it definitely adds something to the haunting for sure.
Nice.
So Sweet Springs, that place is
Dude,
fucking wild, man.
Sweet Springs it might be the scariest place we have ever been. I have never been that scared in my life. Well, okay, I lied. Old Hospital in College Hill, I was really scared, but that's because of the challenge that Noah gave me. But like when it comes to the activity that was happening, Sweet Springs was on another freaking level. It was like, oh my God, it was scary. Even so, we were there with Clayton, Ghost Chaser, and Epic Paranormal, and Eric's like, he's been ghost hunting for well over like 15 years, I think, maybe more. But dude, he was scared. He was like, dude, I'm freaking out. I don't know if I can go alone, dude. And so Sweet Springs is a different beast, 100%.
Oh yeah. I mean, like the people that we know that have been there, they have had like the craziest encounters. We have not been, obviously, but it's definitely on our list, right, Bergie?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The scary thing is it's in the middle of nowhere as well. So there's zero cell service. Like it's only, I think it's either one bar or no, I think it's SOS.
Yeah, it's literally zero.
Okay.
Alexa, stop.
It's Siri.
Alexa's like, I want to be in this podcast too.
She was not at actually. Well, she kind of was, but there was no service, so it didn't work. But yeah, there's no service there. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the West Virginia mountains, so it's pitch black. And holy crap, the sounds that we were hearing in one of the hallways, it sounded like somebody was trying to break in and just walking around. And we captured the clearest whistle I have ever heard on an investigation. I 100% thought that someone had broken in. And so part of the video, I literally grab a pipe and I'm like, hey, you have to come out right now because like you're not supposed to be in here. I was freaking out because like, you know, if someone broke in, I mean, what am I going to do? Like we had nothing on us. So, dude, it was terrifying. But then we didn't find anybody. So I don't know what that whistle was. I don't know what the footsteps were, the banging. I don't know what any of it was. So Sweet Springs scared the hell out of everyone that was there, all four of us.
Sweet Springs is like nightmare fuel, dude. Like, yeah, just like we should go there. I'm like,
I would be the one to probably like, I don't know, piss my pants or something. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I would. I'm terrified of things like that. But go ahead.
No, obviously we went there because we saw it on Destination Fear when they went, and I was like, "There's no way we get anything close to what they captured," because that might be the craziest episode of ghost hunting TV ever, honestly. Right. But we got so much of that stuff, and we heard the screaming like they did. It was very distant, but like we still captured some of that, like just blood curdling screaming coming from somewhere. It was terrifying. Sweet Springs is scary.
Yeah, it's I still want to go though.
Because can we go in the middle of the day though?
No.
Damn it.
That takes away from it. So you guys watch Destination Fear. So like, are you guys like fans of the show? Do you watch it often? I mean, it's now Project Fear, of course, but
yeah, definitely. We both have pretty much watched everything. We love the guys. A lot of like how we investigate. So like when we first started the channel, we didn't know anything about Destination Fear at all. So all of our like kind of idea of ghost hunting and all of that came from Ghost Adventures. But then we found them and we started watching them, and we loved the vibe of how they don't really systematically take down like a building. Like they don't have like, okay, we're going to go to this room and this room and this room and have it all planned out. They kind of just go in and start walking around because they're urban explorers first,
right?
From a long time ago. And so we've really taken that and like it just kind of ran with it. Just the idea of like, okay, we don't really need a plan. Let's just go in and see what happens and let the building or the spirits kind of guide us through the night. And then also the fact that they don't really use a lot of equipment and we don't either, just because like Noah said earlier, we truly think that the best piece of gear is your own ears, your own brain, your eyes. Just because, especially if you go to big asylums like that, like the amount of sounds that you're going to hear is crazy. So we kind of took that aspect from them as well. Because at first we were like, oh man, how are we going to make a cool video? We have no gear. And then we realized like we don't need all that. You can just go in and make an awesome video and have a good time and ghost hunt, you know, really just using your own ears and maybe a couple other things.
Right.
Well, like, I mean, you guys were talking about how everybody was scared when you guys went to Sweet Springs. Like, could you imagine sleeping alone the way
No.
that they do?
No.
Like, I hard pass.
We've tried to do it at a couple places. So like we went to the Sally house and we tried to do it. So Noah slept upstairs on a cot, like at the top of the stairs. And then I slept downstairs in the basement above where like the pentagram used to be or whatever used to be there.
No.
And we could only do it for like maybe an hour and a half. And we're like, okay, we're just going to go home. And we drove 9.5 hours home from the Sally house after that. Like we were not going to stay there. We did not even want to go to a hotel. We're like, I want to go straight home right now. So whenever we've tried to do that, we always chicken out. Or like the ISS video that I was telling you about where we were going to sleep alone. But then as the night progresses, we're like, maybe we'll sleep in twos because we had a few other people with us. So then we slept in twos instead of actually alone. It's just we can never make ourselves do it because we're so scared.
I mean, you made it an hour and a half at Sally House, though. That's better than nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah, we made it. I mean, we were there earlier investigating, but yeah, alone, it was like, I think it was an hour and a half. And
Yeah.
Noah heard some sounds, and we heard like footsteps on the floor, like between us on the first floor. And then we were like, I walked him. I was like, do you just want to end the video? Like, we're not going to do it. Because the idea was that we'd actually sleep there until the sun came up. But we're like, we're not doing that. There's no way.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 1 a.m. We were like packing up to leave. It was kind of funny.
That's funny. That would be me, Mads. I swear to gosh. If we ever do that, I'm just going to be like, can we go now? I'm done.
Yeah.
Like the first noise I hear, I'm like, I'm out. Bye.
That's exactly what we do. After the first noise, we're like, okay, this is too much. We're not doing it.
That's so funny. I know. I just watched your you guys had that video at the high school that was like 15 minutes long, and like the moment you go to IR, you hear a noise and you just leave.
Yeah, that was a different type of video that we tried filming. That one was fun. That wasn't like an uncut, and we were just gonna wait for something to happen because man, that school. Every time we go, I'd say like 90% of the times that we go, we either call the cops because we think someone broke in, or end up just running out and we're like, is it worth calling the cops? No, and then we'll just drive home. That place is scary. That place is so freaking scary.
Have you guys like ever considered bringing some form of like defense with you? Like, I don't know, pepper spray or something?
Yeah.
Well, so like in Indiana, like, so I wanted to get a gun just like to have it because some of these asylums, you're in the middle of nowhere, and that's like what would make me feel the safest just because that means I'm not going to die if somebody else does have one. But the problem is like when you go over state lines, it becomes a problem because you have to like consider the gun laws of that state, whether or not you have to have a license, blah, blah, blah. So we did get pepper spray. It's like this tiny little thing of pepper spray. So that's our real only defense. We went to a cabin a couple nights ago, and we didn't know this, but it was like a half mile down this trail away from the cars. So we were in the middle of nowhere, and there's said to be a murder that took place. There's said that apparently the murderer is still on the run, and then apparently they do satanic rituals down there. And all we had was this little pepper spray. And I'm like, this isn't going to do much. If they really want to get us, and there's a bunch of like demon worshipers that come down here, like, what are we going to do? So we do have that now, but that's usually about it. That's why like some of these places, if it's not a place that has doors that lock and good security, it's just so scary. Not really because of the ghost, but just because like, are you going to die?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You should bring like machetes or something with you.
We should. We really should.
I just see you guys like walking around with little machetes attached to you.
It's just like strapped to our hip. We should. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be like Indiana Jones or something.
It's so funny.
That would be. You know, when we talked to the Project Fear guys, we made the suggestion, you know, like, because they've had quite a few incidences where they're just like, I think someone's breaking in and they freak out. And I'm like, guys, please, like, have some sort of self-defense with you. And they're like, yeah, that's probably. No, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now?
We've actually offered to be their line of defense for them too. Like we call ourselves the base camp baddies. Like we'll post up outside for you.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. You guys would probably encounter a lot of stuff that way.
I know, like probably like rogue deer or some shit. No, I'm just kidding.
That's about it.
Mads, we should start that as a business for all of these paranormal investigators.
There you go.
You can rent us out. We'll be your line of defense.
The worst line of defense ever.
You're just all inside investigating and you just hear screams from outside and it's just me and Mads because like a fucking bat flew above our heads or some shit.
That is so stupid, but that's exactly
It's accurate.
Okay, so what is y'all's dream location to investigate?
Ooh, that is a really good question because I love being asked that question. My favorite and the one location that I want to go to has got to be Alcatraz, if you guys have heard that.
Oh, yeah.
In San Francisco, because growing up, I had these friends, and our favorite video game to play was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies. And
Yeah.
they have a map that is literally Alcatraz. And so I always say, like, whenever I go to Alcatraz in my life, I'm going to know exactly where to go. I already know where everything is. And so I really just want to go there just to, like, relive my childhood memories. And, you know, the vibe of just going on a boat to get there would be absolutely terrifying. So
Yeah.
that's my favorite place of all time that I really want to go to.
Yeah, I'd say-
Alcatraz would be cool.
Yes.
I'd say mine's a lot simple. It's just the St. Augustine Lighthouse. I want to go to a lighthouse so bad. I've always been interested in like lighthouses and like nautical stuff, especially like Great Lakes history. And even though the St. Augustine Lighthouse is on the Great Lakes, obviously it's just so iconic and it's huge. And I think just, you know, walking up all those stairs to get to the top and, you know, ghost hunting, and you're basically in like a massive cylinder. So if you hear a sound on any level, like you're going to hear it throughout the entire thing. I just think it'd be such a cool place to investigate.
A lighthouse would be cool too. I want to see more lighthouses.
Me too. I was just about to say, like, I haven't really seen people investigate them often, so I think that would be hella cool to see.
Yeah. It's pretty rare, but that maybe that's another reason why I like them so much, is because there's not very many people that go. Like, you know, some of the TV shows will go like occasionally, but you know, there's not very many people that investigate lighthouses for some reason. But I think they're just the coolest things ever. I love them.
Yeah, that would be super cool. There's something like that could always be eerie about bodies of water too. That just like adds to the effect, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you guys have a dream collab?
Oh man, dream collab. This is it's a mix between two, and I'm sure Jake's gonna give the other answer. But my dream collab, and this might be a little controversial, but Zach Bagans is.
I knew you were gonna say that. The moment you said this is controversial.
Yeah, like Zach Bagans and Aaron, especially Aaron. Aaron's like my idol. I freaking love Aaron, but
Aaron's
definitely
funny.
just being around them, and you know, we watched them all as a kid. Our dad used to watch them, and we'd be scared watching them. And even though they're controversial, I have loved them ever since I've started watching them. Like, they are just amazing. I love them so much.
What's crazy is our answers here, because mine's obviously the Project Fear guys, but
Yeah.
it's so funny because, you know, there's that, you know, history. But yeah, I'd agree with either of those. I'd love to investigate with Zach Bagans and really anyone from Ghost Adventures, but also just, yeah, the Project Fear guys. Since we've gotten so many, like, again, like our idea of like how we investigate, not using very much equipment, you know, and just the idea of like facing our fears. Like, that's why we started to do this as well. And that's kind of the whole premise of their show on both YouTube and on the Travel Channel. But yeah, I'd say either of those, Project Fear or Ghost Adventures, which is a really funny answer when you think about it.
It is. You know, even though like Zach Bagans is controversial in the Fear fam anyways, people are like, ew, Kevin Spacey, blah, blah, blah. I like, as much as you may not like him nowadays, for most Fear fan people, most of us got our start watching his shows. So
It's
Yeah.
true.
it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what I tell everybody. It's like, yeah, he might be controversial, whatever, but like at the end of the day, everyone who's ghost hunting right now either watched Ghost Hunters or they watched Ghost Adventures, and that's why they're doing it now. That's what sparked their interest.
Literally.
Or both.
there's got to be
Yeah.
some level of like respect. You know what I mean? Just like at least on the level of, hey, that's why I got into it. Cool. Moving on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right, exactly. I mean, me and Berkey, like, that's literally like we had a shared connection from watching Project Fear, obviously, but also Ghost Adventures.
Mhm.
And then, you know, the rest is,
History.
yeah. But it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
who is anybody to say that that's a bad thing for you? Like, it's not.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And again, a lot of our ideas of how we film stuff also came from Ghost Adventures, honestly. Like, you know, SLS cameras, that was something that like Ghost Adventures brought about in the paranormal field. A lot of people use those. We love to use Eric's whenever he's with us because we don't have one. But and then same with spirit boxes, like they're the one who popularized that and like kind of brought that about on like the larger stage of the paranormal world. And honestly, without those two shows, I don't think, I mean, the paranormal would not be as popular as it is right now.
it's true.
Exactly. I would love to see you guys link up with Project Fear, though. That would be a pretty cool episode.
That would be
That
cool.
would be sick. Although I always thought like if we ever did, I don't know if I could sleep alone. I really don't. It would really,
Make a
would be-
pact. Like, be like, we'll come with you guys, but we get to at least sleep in the same location together.
we get to be like within 100 feet of each other, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Same hallway, at least.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't know, man. Dakota, that dude, he
Yeah,
scares
you're
me.
like, no, you're doing it. You're doing
Yeah.
it anyway.
And it's so funny because, like, I don't know, you guys haven't ever met them, right?
No, we've never met them.
Okay.
We follow each other. We both follow each other on TikTok, but we've never really talked to them or met them. They've commented on a couple of our TikToks, I think.
Love that, first of all.
Yes.
But Dakota is, I mean, they're all really down to earth, sweet people. Dakota especially, he's a little shy, but that dude has some tricks up his sleeve. He scares me.
I feel like he's a little devious sometimes.
He is, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he just hides it behind his, nice personality, but then he comes up with the most just disturbing challenges you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Exactly
pure insanity. Like, where the hell did that come from, dude?
Yeah, dude, that's Noah, man. The freaking, I'm always like, he's kind of scared, so like, I'll pick a challenge that's not like that scary that I could do, and then for him, he's like, no, you're getting handcuffed and blindfolded and tied to in the basement. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
That's so funny.
Damn, bro, where'd that come from, Noah? That's crazy.
He's like, it's a good idea as long as it doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have some ideas for you, Bergie. I'm just kidding.
No, fuck off.
Okay, so where are you guys like located?
So I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, so like northern Indiana.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone knows what Fort Wayne is, but it's like, I think it's the second biggest city in Indiana. So, but that's not saying much. But we're both from this area. We live like 30 minutes apart now because we have our own apartments now. But yeah, we're from northern Indiana. That's where we're from.
Gotcha. So, like, is there a location? Obviously, there's ISS and stuff up there, but is there a location that's local to you guys that you're drawn to more than others?
Definitely the Shadow Man Museum. That's what we call it. It's the Huntington County Historical Museum. Our dad like volunteers there because he's an engineer, like an electrical engineer. So he helps them with their electrical stuff, their cameras, all of that. And another thing that helped us start the channel, that really made us want to start the channel, was he captured on the camera a full-fledged shadow figure, not once but twice in the span of like a minute on like a random Sunday afternoon at like 2 p.m. It's probably the most insane video of a shadow figure I have ever seen in my entire life. And so after he showed us that in April-ish of 2021, obviously we started the channel in August of that year. So that also helped to push us over the edge of like, okay, we need to start a channel. But every time we go there, we just get the craziest stuff. The first time we filmed there, which was about a year after the figure was captured, I was walking up the staircase that the shadow figure was captured going up. And it's in this kind of open warehouse room. And we captured the piano that is down on the bottom floor. I was walking up the stairs to the second floor, which is like a balcony. And there's a piano down on the bottom floor. But it played twice, just 2 notes, boom, boom. And it scared dude, I sprinted down the stairs and all the way back to the main room where our dad was sitting, because originally he had to be there with us because the board was a little weird about it. But even to this day, every time we go there, we get crazy footsteps, crazy evidence, crazy activity, and we really do not know why. We have a couple theories, but we've never really been able to prove anything like for certain, because every time we think we do, another thing pops up. So we go live there a lot, and it's literally 2 minutes from our home that we grew up in. So it's really close to us.
Wild. I don't do music boxes are creepy enough. So pianos, that's eerie, man.
Yeah. And I was thinking okay, is this like an electrical piano that's plugged in? Could someone have messed with it? Nope. It's an old ass piano. And what's crazy is one of the former workers who used to he loved the museum. He would stay over every single day and clean and clean and clean. He passed away in 2017, and we believed during the video we were talking with the president of the board of the museum, and she thought that he was the one haunting. And what's crazy was after that piano played, my dad said, "Hey, I have footage of Dave is his name, of Dave playing that piano." And that's the piano that Dave would play. So that just was absolutely insane that was most likely the spirit of Dave just playing the piano to let us know he was still there.
Wild.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. I probably would have peed myself. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah,
that's crazy.
I was probably 15 steps or so up the stairs, maybe a little bit more, and I literally jumped down them in 2 steps. I jumped to the middle and then jumped onto the floor and just bolted because I was like, I'm not hanging around to see what.
Bye.
Yeah, I was out.
That's wild. That's crazy. Is that is there a video of that on your guys' YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's a really old one. We probably should go back soon and do a part 2, but we should go where we sleep there, dude. That'd be crazy.
Hell no. That'd be
Hell no.
there's a video, but it's an older one, so you have to kind of go back a ways. But it's a really, really good one. The piano playing is on there. We show the shadow figure, and then we got hissed at a couple times too.
Oh,
loud hissing.
hell no.
Again, there's a big warehouse room, and it echoed throughout the entire thing. It was really loud. So it's a really scary video. It really is.
I'm gonna have to go find that one after this because now
Yeah,
I'm
you
curious.
should.
So this next question is one of our favorites to ask people because sometimes it leads to interesting conversation. But have you guys learned anything about the living by investigating the dead?
That is a really good question, actually. Holy crap.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Thought-provoking.
I'd say the first thing that comes to my brain in regard to that question is I've learned that I'm more scared of people than ghosts, which I wouldn't have thought of. I wouldn't have thought that before, but now I am. Like what we were talking about earlier. If we're at a place where someone can break in, that's the only thing on my mind. I'm not even scared of the ghost there. Really, it's just is someone going to break in and kill us? So that school that we go to in Ohio, that shorter video that you watched of ours, that place, people break in all the time. Usually when we go, we're not thinking about ghosts very much. We're thinking, is someone going to be in here and hurt us? So I think I've definitely kind of flipped that around where beforehand I probably in 2021, I probably would have said, oh, ghosts are way scarier than people. What are you talking about? But now I've learned that people are definitely way scarier than ghosts are, for sure. And the other thing is, it's just that we can't make everyone happy because a lot of what we do, a lot of what we find while investigating the dead, people have very strong opinions on it. Mm-hmm. And so it used to really bother us because we wanted to make everyone happy. We wanted to be we just wanted everyone to like us and what we do and everything. But over the years, we've gotten so much crap for so many things that we've said or done or found or whatever, that at this point, we just don't care anymore. So we've also learned from doing this that you can't make everybody happy, and you've just got to live your life and do your thing without fear of what everyone else thinks, which has been a very positive outcome on both of our lives, I think, is learning to let go of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, thank you for saying that, because I'll tell you real fast. I mean, we mentioned it briefly earlier, but the next podcast that's coming out for us, the story of what I experienced is, I'm like slightly nervous for this one to come out because I don't know how people are going to take it, because basically I'm pretty sure I had an alien ghost that was following me around for a hot minute. And
Whoa.
I'm like, it's not that I'm afraid of like what people think necessarily, because like I am kind of weird, so I own that, but you just don't know how people are going to respond to stuff like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Here's what's crazy, though. I 100% believe that is a thing. We were at the Whispers Estate, which is where that was probably the most controversial thing for us, was Noah got affected so bad it was like borderline possession. Like he was talking things that did not make sense to like how he would normally act, and he doesn't remember any of that. But we went back. That was actually the night of our 100K stream that we did with Eric. And Eric was telling us how he's been doing these investigations at his home where, using the gateway that Noah talked about earlier, the spirits would say, we need permission to land. And he was like, what does that even mean? Whoa. And we were at the Whispers Estate investigating, and we were like, Eric finally was just like, hey, I'm giving you permission to land. I don't know who you are, if you're an alien or what, but permission to land. And we captured this figure on the SLS camera that just appeared. And while it was there, we were getting responses like talking about the ship, talking about like space. It was crazy. It was like, I don't even know what's going on, so I'm just going to let this take its course. It was one of those nights, but again, that's the big thing with the paranormal, is you really got to keep an open mind, because we really don't know what we're talking to. It could be a spirit, it could be a demon, it could all be aliens, it could all be future us. I don't know. Like, it could be anything. And so I think the best way to go about it is to keep an open mind. But long story short, I definitely would believe whatever your story is about the ghost alien, because I 100% think that that's a thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting story for sure. So you'll have to listen to the episode that comes out tomorrow. But because my mom, it was weird. Like, I'm not going to give it away too much, but my mom came and like kind of like felt it out, and she like, I hadn't told her a single thing about what I thought was happening, and then she just like confirmed everything for me, and I was like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with you and Noah as well. You know, our stories lined up after years of not telling each other, really.
Yeah, it's like cool, but also like kind of eerie at the same time when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that was the thing I was running from when I went to Wyoming.
I called it the visitor.
It's so funny because like I'm talking all this big game, like, yeah, Bergie, let's go to Sweet Springs. Yeah. But then like I was in her house, I was in a safe place, and I ran away from her living room because I felt something. It's like, all right, we'll see how that one goes.
You want to go to Sweet Springs of all places? Like, the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's something about that place that I'm drawn to after watching the Destination Fear episode. All those years ago that I had like a nightmare that I was there and I was like visited by whatever was there, and it just it has stuck with me since. So ever since then, I'm like, I'm kind of just really wanting to go to understand what I experienced, because I've never even been to West Virginia, so it's like, it's just weird. I haven't stepped on any sort of land even remotely close to it. It's just odd.
The whole Appalachian Mountains are scary because it's the oldest mountain range in the world. Like, they were the first mountain ranges to be formed geologically ever. Like, I don't know how many millions of years ago, but they are the oldest in the world. That's why they're so worn down, and they're not like super spiky mountains, because it's had, millions of years of erosion. But the whole vibe of the Appalachians is just very dark and very eerie. It's just, you could just feel that like this entire place is haunted, and Sweet Springs is right there in the middle of it. So it definitely adds to that.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm actually from a little outside of it. I'm from North Carolina in the Charlotte area.
Oh.
And yeah, I've always heard stories. And one of my best friends is from like the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. And she has some crazy stories. We're trying to get her on the pod to tell us, but she's one of those people that are like a skeptic to some extent, but then a believer to another. So I would definitely want her to tell some of her stories because it's like, it's just shit is wild, man.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure anyone from there has tons of stories.
Do you guys have any advice for anyone that is looking to get started on YouTube at all?
Biggest advice for sure for YouTube and specifics. One big thing is be yourself and don't let other people try to drag you down, because unfortunately you see that a lot in this day and age, is that a lot of people just hate on people for no reason. And especially if you're like a decent person, you've hurt nobody, that type of thing. People even still hate on those people, unfortunately. But for years of us having our channel, when we really got into that community of other paranormal investigators to do their thing, kind of like in the same group as us, with the same amount of sub count and stuff like that. I mean, we were all friends at one point, but in the blink of an eye, everyone just turns your back on you. So that's definitely one of the biggest things, is to be yourself and try not to let other people's opinions and thoughts and sayings affect you in a negative way. Don't let people affect you. Definitely be consistent for sure. For the YouTube side of things, is just keep going. And eventually, if you set your mind to something, you'll eventually overcome it and make that dream a reality. But yeah, for 8 years, probably more than that, I was in like third grade when my first thought of being a YouTuber came to my mind. And then right when I had that thought, I made a channel and started making videos every day. And ever since third grade, I've had probably over 10 channels that I've attempted to try to get big on. And not until Spirit Stalkers is when something really blew up in the proportion that in the state that we're in right now. So yeah, just definitely keep going. And if you have a dream of being a content creator or being on YouTube, just keep going for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think I saw a quote yesterday that said only winners have haters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you get haters, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you have to have thick skin though, because I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. It's not anything mean, but if you don't have thick skin, I really don't think you would make it, just because the internet is ruthless. People don't care who you are. They don't care what is going on in your life, the bad things, the good things. They do not care. If people want to hate, they're going to. And I see a lot of creators who don't have that thick skin, and they really let hate get to them. And I just think, man, you just got to let it go. And we were in their shoes at one point where, we would try to, not like fight back, but we would like, be a little bit more like aggressive towards these people. Like if they said something on Twitter, like we would respond. And now we don't even respond. Like it doesn't matter to us, because all that was doing was taking up our time and the space in our brain that we could be using to edit more videos, figure out better ways to do this or better ways to do that. And we've always made sure that no matter what, we always try to grow and become better, whether it's with editing or thumbnails or titles or the investigation itself or the location or whatever on each video. And a lot of that comes down to just not letting other people weigh you down, because then you don't have the headspace to even come up with new ideas and to get better, because all you're focused on is the past and what other people are saying. And if you get to a certain point, exactly what your quote said, you will have haters, and there's no way around it. So you might as well just keep going, because it just means you're doing something right.
Exactly. And to add to that too is like, if people are commenting on your stuff in a negative way, it's because they want to get under your skin. So like the more you acknowledge them, the more that they're going to continue to do so.
Exactly.
For sure. And we kind of learned that the hard way. I'd say probably last fall, we learned that the hard way. With, kind of the situation Noah was talking about with some of our old friends, actually. But it's the thing is you really got to find those people as well that really care about you and that really also want to help you grow. And we found those people through, I'll just name a few: Eric, Clayton, Paranormal Quest. Those guys have stuck by us from the very beginning when we were very small. And even to this day, they still help us out, and they're just awesome people. But you'll find those people and you'll start to like kind of weed out the ones who are self-interested, and you'll start to find the people who want to grow themselves, but also truly want to help you and will help you when the time comes. And so you'll end up finding your little kind of group of people. And it's just the best feeling ever. Like we call me, Clayton, Noah, and Eric, we call the PCU, which is the Paranormal Cinematic Universe, because we all have videos on each other's channels, and we're going to keep doing it. Like I was just texting Eric this morning about we're going to go do a live stream with him on Monday and film more videos and just different ideas. And he was giving some tips and pointers on our video that dropped yesterday that has him in it. And that's the best feeling as well, is when you let the hate just do its thing, and then you find your people that actually do care about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, there's room for everybody to win. Like, it doesn't have to be a competition as long as everybody's doing their own thing and supporting one another. Like, why can't people just do that, you know?
Yeah, and the final thing I'll say on that is the vastness of different ideas, how many there are, like different ideas, different videos, different thoughts, even at the same location. Or with anything, really, anything in life, but specifically ghost hunting. Like we might go to Sweet Springs and find one thing and capture one thing. Someone else might go and find another, capture another. And we think that that's awesome because it helps to dig in deeper. What is the paranormal? What everyone has these different ideas. Which ones are right? Which ones are skewed a little? Which ones are, but it just comes down to let everybody do their thing, because at the end of the day, if we're all doing the same thing over and over again, like, it's going to get boring, first of all. But second of all, no one's going to learn. No one's going to grow. So just let people do their thing. There's no reason to like shoot them down, because you're right. Everybody can win if everybody just, I guess, stay in your own lane is the best way to phrase it.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you guys have anything you want listeners to know about Spirit Stalkers? Like anything upcoming that's exciting or anything of that nature?
Man, we definitely have a lot of stuff planned. Nothing specifically, but we do have a few plans that we're working on with Eric specifically, and we just got some confirmation on an opportunity that we were looking for our Halloween special, which is going to be something really crazy and really freaking awesome. I'm so excited. I always love working on the Halloween special this time of year. I just think it's so cool to like put a little bit more energy than usual into a project. So definitely that. Also the fact that a couple months ago we were going to do like more of like a season type of thing, but now we're just kind of back to weekly. So we drop videos every Friday at 6 now, which is awesome because we're also going to start broadening our sphere from, and we've already kind of done this, but not just ghost hunting, but also like, we're going to go look for more cryptids. We're going to go, kind of just do like urban exploring type videos where we're not necessarily ghost hunting. We're kind of just exploring places. And so I guess if anyone's listening, just expect a lot of different things coming to our channel. A lot of different stuff that's just really cool and some really crazy ideas that we have in the works.
For sure.
That's cool. I'm excited to see what other avenues you guys take then.
Me too.
Yeah. Like cryptids. Cryptids are very interesting to me, so I'll definitely be watching those videos.
Yeah, cryptids have always fascinated us, and the more we look into it, the more we're just like, oh my gosh, they're scarier. They're scarier than ghosts in a lot of ways, because they can actually, if they're real, they're physical beings. So theoretically, they can actually hurt you. So it's a lot scarier.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
So definitely get those machetes then before you do
Right.
that. Please, thank you.
We should just do the whole Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to have to be equipped for that shit, man.
Yeah.
So where can the listeners find you? What's your YouTube, your Twitter, Instagram, all your handles?
So all of our social media platforms are all the exact same, with just like a different punctuation for what we could have gotten. But if you just look up Spirit Stalkers, you will find us on mostly every single social media platform, like TikTok, YouTube. We have Facebook. We have a Facebook profile, a Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, we pretty much have it all. You can just look up Spirit Stalkers on all the main platforms and find us and find all of our content and get a bunch of early announcements and stuff like that from different platforms.
Yeah, I'd say if people want to like really stay up to date with everything that we're thinking, everything that we're doing, Twitter or X is definitely the best. That's definitely, you want to follow us on Twitter because we post every single announcement, everything that we think, everything that we're doing, and more goes on Twitter. And then obviously Instagram as well. But I'd say that for sure. And then we do a lot of live streams on TikTok. So if that interests you, definitely follow us on TikTok. And then obviously YouTube, no matter what, because that's our main content. That's obviously where our focus is. Like you said, we just hit 100,000. So now it's on to, I guess the next huge milestone is 1 million. So I guess that's what our mission is now. But yeah, and if you want to get all of our full investigations and everything, just Spirit Stalkers on YouTube or any platform.
Nice. Well,
Hell
make
yeah.
sure to go check these guys out, dear listeners. Before I ask the last question, did anybody else hear that sound when Noah was talking, or was that just me?
I did.
No,
heard
I didn't
something.
hear anything.
Okay, now I'm freaked out. it was like a gasp almost, like while he was talking. It was like it was super weird.
That is creepy.
I can confirm that I did not do that. And
Yeah.
I do have cameras in my living room, like Ring cameras, so I could check those to see, but I did not do that. I can tell you that right now. I don't like that at all.
It was like you were
Ew.
mid word, and it happened, and it scared me a little. Like my heart's beating now.
It's funny 'cause we figured out my apartment's haunted. Now Jake's apartment's haunted.
Don't
right?
say that, bro. No. Don't say
No.
that.
None of you heard that though. No, I'm freaked out. Okay,
I heard
No, I
it.
didn't at all.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
Hopefully
that's what it
it's on your
sounded
end
like.
and
Right?
our end, but if you guys heard it and we didn't, that means it probably came from our mic for some reason. So
Oh no.
I hope it's not my apartment.
Okay.
Ew.
Well, now I'm
Okay.
expecting a video from your apartment then.
Yeah,
Just
there's going to be a video coming out next week at the
Oh
apartment.
god. Oh god. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if the audio of the recording itself actually caught that, and if so, we'll definitely leave it in because that was freaky.
Yeah, let me know. That'd be crazy.
That was weird. Okay. So, anyways, last question. Do you guys have any questions for us?
That's also a good question. What the heck? Oh my god.
What is your dream bucket list location that Destination Fear or Project Fear have been to?
I'm going to add something, not Sweet Springs.
Ah,
Okay, Trans
shit.
Allegheny. It's Trans Allegheny for me every time because that
Allegheny,
episode
nice.
freaked me out.
I would have to say probably, yeah, Trans Allegheny. That place is
Really?
really fucking scary
Well,
from
just
what
like-
I've seen.
Tanner's phone going off without and it was dead, or like Tanner called Alex, like Tanner's phone called
Yeah.
Alex's phone, but Tanner's phone was actually in the gear room and it was dead. That freaked me out.
Same.
Honestly, yeah, same. That was probably one of the scariest pieces of evidence they've ever caught because it was just like screeching, right? It was just like some weird.
It was like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like classic grudge ghost thing, bro. I'm out for that one. I'm good. We
Yeah.
drove, like we've never been to Trans Allegheny like on the inside, but we've stopped out in front just to see it, and it is huge. It is a massive building. So I would love to go there.
Yeah. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
So, besides Trans Allegheny and Sweet Springs, what do you think is the most compelling or scary piece of evidence that Destination Fear or Project Fear have captured?
There's a few, but the first one that immediately comes to my mind is Randolph County Infirmary when the jail cell door thingy closed on out.
Bro, I was just about to
Oh,
say the same thing.
Stop reading my mind.
I hate you for that.
I think that was on Trail to Terror, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
OG?
first season of Destination Fear.
Oh, was it on the episode?
I guess that was
Yeah.
the episode where
Yeah.
Chelsea heard the hello from the basement.
Do you remember the Alex? He was like, "Dude, it opened," and like they didn't believe him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Fairfield. That's Fairfield.
Oh, Fairfield. There
yeah,
you
that's
go.
Fairfield.
I always get those two flip flopped in my head.
Yeah, they're pretty
Honestly, we do too. We always call because we go to Randolph all the time because it's very close to us. Like we've been there definitely over 50 times for sure.
Yeah.
And when we went to Fairfield, we're like, this is basically just Randolph. It's the same thing.
That's wild.
But yeah, that's a
Ugh.
good.
I was trying
So
to
mad.
think. I know. I was trying to
Like
think
stole
because
yours.
there is so.
Well, I guess the other answer was from Sweet Springs, so never mind.
That's why I was. That's
Project
what I
Fear,
was
Sweet
thinking
Springs,
about.
though. Yeah.
Right. It's got to be the Sweet Springs ones that have stuck with me the most, though.
Well, that's
unfortunately.
because you've had like dreams of Sweet Springs, though. That's
right. Well, I mean,
fair.
when Destination Fear went for like the season 1, episode 3, which is so crazy to think about. Like, it was so early on in their television career. But the chanting in the basement at Sweet Springs is what, like, that has stuck with me forever. Like,
Yeah, that episode, because I'm just gonna say it. I think I discovered them first.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. But I called Noah. Like, we both were kind of watching it, and I watched the episode one day because I didn't watch them in order. I just was like, oh, this episode looks cool, and I would click it. But I finally watched Sweet Springs. This is probably way back in 2021, and I remember I screamed at Noah. I was like, "Get in here! Get in here right now! You need to do this! Like, this is insane! We gotta go! We gotta go to Sweet Springs!" And like we were trying for so many years to go. We finally went last fall, and let me tell you, it does hold up to that. It really does. But yeah, that episode stuck with us too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the history of the land. And of course, like what you were saying earlier, like the Appalachian Mountains and all that stuff. I mean, it's just like such a spooky combination of things as to why it's just so damn terrifying. So unfortunately, yeah, that was the first one that popped up.
I was gonna leak the idea, but I'm not gonna do that. Wait,
Leak what idea?
the Sweet Springs idea with the plaque.
Oh no. Yeah.
Do you say it?
Why not?
Okay, so so we have this idea where we're trying to think, because everyone does like an unboxing video for their plaque or whatever, like a lot of people do, but we don't want to do that. So we were thinking, like, what if we went to somewhere like Sweet Springs? We had the owner or one of the workers or whoever hide our plaque, and we have to go in one by one alone and try to find it.
Ooh.
That would
Like,
be cool.
they could put it like in a drawer or like, you know, behind a door somewhere, and we have to like go in and explore because it's freaking huge, and then we'd have to go in and find it. So we're probably doing that within the next few weeks. I don't know if it's going to be at Sweet Springs, but it's just I kind of forgot how scary it was until we started talking about it. So now I don't know if we're going to do it there. I'm going to be real, but
Dang it! I feel like you should now.
I know.
maybe we should. Maybe we should just do Sweet Springs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will. So stay tuned for that.
What if I double dog dare you to?
We might have to do
We
it.
might have to.
We might have to do it.
It's like playground rules. You have to.
Ah, shit.
I guess
That's
we're
gonna be a
going
good
back.
one.
Brought up the double dog dare.
Triple dog dare.
Oh no! Love
Ah,
to go.
shit. Now you're screwed for sure.
But now we have to. Damn it.
Yep.
All right.
Now you
We gotta
actually
call
have
him
to.
up today.
Hell yeah.
Well, guys, this has been our conversation with Spirit Stalkers. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we have. Thank you so much, Noah and Jake, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We really appreciated it, and you guys were awesome to talk to.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So are you guys.
Thank you.
So, thank you for joining us as we talked with Noah and Jake Bruce from the Spirit Stalkers. We had a great conversation. We hope you enjoyed it. We definitely did.
Yes, indeed we did. Yes, sir. I was like,
Duchess.
yeah. So, what's she doing?
She's full out under my table right now.
Dutchie.
Little girl.
She's
Oh
like,
my-
Mom, pay attention to me. You've been talking to your paranormal friends this whole time. You do this like
Yeah.
every freaking weekend. I feel
Literally.
like you're neglecting me. You should
Yeah.
probably stop and actually
Oh.
just look at me.
That's exactly what she's thinking. That spoiled little girl. Don't worry, she gets little petsies. Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, well.
She's like, see, I have the door closed. So Annie and Diesel, I'm surprised Diesel hasn't. This is like the first time we've ever talked on the podcast where he hasn't sat outside the door and just whined the whole time.
I know. Yeah, wow.
I know. Even in my mom's house, he did that, which was like significantly further away from the door than I am at my own house, and
Right.
you could still hear him.
Yeah, he was doing too much that
I
weekend.
know. He was like, I want to talk to Stachio too.
Stachio. That's funny.
So make sure you like, comment, subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to us on. It would really truly help us out. Make sure to search us up on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Etsy. At Fear Babes on all platforms.
Hell
Except Facebook.
yeah.
Facebook is Fear
Fear
Babes
Babes Podcast.
Yeah. It's the only one that we differed on. Also, TikTok. We're on TikTok as well.
We are.
We are trying to get more involved in the tiki-talkies I mentioned before, but that is definitely Mads' realm and not mine. And it's weird. It's weird because we're only 2 years apart, but that's one of those things where the age difference is a factor.
Yeah, it can be. You're
Like,
just
you're definitely more TikTok savvy than I am, which is so funny.
you're
to me.
just an old woman.
I am. I got the old knees and everything.
You got the old knees, the old back, the
No.
old head, and the old shoulders.
My back's okay. It's my knees, man. I'm like this. I'm too young for this shit. But, I digress.
Amen.
By the way, Matt just started reading a book. I'm over halfway through it. I started
Which
last
book?
Sunday.
Which
It's
book?
called The Love of My Afterlife.
Ooh.
I was gonna suggest you read it, maybe for your book club even.
Ooh, yeah, send it to us because we're actually presently looking for a book for September.
Oh,
So
perfect. Yeah, you guys should read it. I suggested it. You're welcome. The storyline is she's a 27-year-old female, so right around our age. So that's cool. And then she dies choking on a burger. And she goes to heaven. It's like a therapist room in heaven because, it can be shocking when you first die and you're like, I don't know what's happening to me. And so she makes it like this guy pops in for a brief moment into the lobby that she entered. And she's like, basically she's me. She's like a little stay-at-home hermit, never associates with anybody, except for herself. And so this guy pops in and they have this brief chemistry for like 2 minutes, and he pops back out because it turns out he was actually just under anesthesia, and it wasn't like he wasn't actually dying. And the therapist was like, yeah, this just happens sometimes. It's a glitch in the system. And so the girl, the main character, she makes a deal with the heaven therapist that she can get her life back if she goes back. She has 10 days back on Earth to find this man and get him to kiss her.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but she has to do it in 10 days, and if she doesn't, so if she does it, if she finds him and he kisses her of his own free will, then she will get her life back. But if not, then she has to be dead and go back to heaven and then help the heaven therapist start a dating program.
What the fuck? Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
it's actually pretty good though.
Not opposed. Definitely send me the details.
Sure.
I am presently reading Iron Flame. All I'm gonna say is, I love you, Shadow Daddy.
Oh. Who's Shadow Daddy?
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it for this episode, babes. Thank you.
Gotta get off so you can go think of Shadow Daddy.
Yeah, duh. And maybe go get some Bojangles.
Oh, fuck.
That's where we're going with this.
Sick. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed Spirit Stalkers. We had a great time, and we'll catch y'all next week for another investigator interview.
Yeah. All right. Well,
bye, babes.
bye, babes. I love you so much. I love you, Shadow Daddy.